What is good, guys? It is your host, Mr. Ghost, with the Real Talk Podcast. And in today's episode, we're going to discuss the nuclear option for Donald Trump, pretty much telling the Democrats and the Republicans, hey, nobody goes home until the government reopens. How does that sound, you little a-holes? Yeah, that's exactly what our president just did, which is good, because why should you go home if you cannot function? You dumb Democrats in Congress. Once again, I'll iterate the people who are going to come into the comment section, or to anybody who thinks this is a Republican shutdown. I understand they control the White House. I understand they control the Senate, as well as the House of Representatives. But little civics lesson, I'll repeat this until the day I die, because apparently you guys don't get it. It takes 60 votes in the Senate for anything to pass. There are only, I believe, 54 Republicans. So they need at least 60, maybe 53, 54, which means they need at least 7 or 6 of the Democrats to vote alongside them to reopen the government. I know that's hard math for you guys, but do understand it is not a Republican shutdown. But we're going to look at an article over on X and look at 2 videos, and I'll give you my concise at the end of it. So for my boy Eric over here on X, breaking news, John Thune, who is the Senate majority leader, is just stunned the Democrats by announcing that Senate will stay in session until the government reopens, in line with President Trump's demands. They're working all weekend and all next week. Democrats will lose. It's inevitable. Keep holding the line. I agree with this, because you know what? Listen, you want to shut down the government, you stupid Democrats. Listen, here's a fun note. You're not going home until you reopen the government. And listen, here, the American people will send you Papa John's pizza, or we'll send you Little Caesar's pizza. We'll send you food, okay? Don't worry about it. We'll feed you. You're just not leaving the people's house until you get your shit together, which is the bigger house, not the White House, the bigger house. Because I consider the Capitol building the people's house as well, because we put our elected officials in there. I fully agree with this. Obviously, people are literally loving it. Oh, poor congressman has to work on the weekend. Then you have, obviously, this person posting about Trump nuking the filibuster. I don't agree with that at all. I don't believe in, you still have to convince me that the filibuster has to be nuked. Because I really, if Democrats ever would be in charge again, I wouldn't want them to have full reins, because the amount of woke bullshit they'll push through. Then you get people like this guy who is completely stupid. Okay, I'm going to read this, and it's going to kill a few of my brain cells, but it's okay. My brain's half dead anyway. Breaking. Trump isn't making them work. He's the one that shut down the government in the first place. I'm hoping this is just like a joke, that you're not really a doctor. I don't think you are with the IQ like this. Classic GOP playbook, create the crisis, blame the Democrats, pretending to be the heroes. If Trump really cared about Americans, why are the troops? Dumbass. He's the one that had somebody donate over $100 million to pay the troops. Yeah. It's not leadership, it's hostage. Guys, I can't make this up. People are literally this stupid on the left. When you look at that, I lost brain cells. Let me know down below if you lost brain cells. People are really that stupid to truly think Trump's the one that shut down the government. No, Trump got rid of wasteful spending. Fully agree with that. When it comes to the funding the government, that goes through Congress, dummy. Listen, I know you failed civics class. I understand, you were in the back of the classroom, licking the glue, maybe sticking a pencil up your nose. Maybe that type of person weren't paying attention. But once again, I have to iterate this, because you Democrats are not smart enough, okay? It takes 60 votes in the Senate for anything to pass. I'll fully agree if there were 60 Republicans and they were shutting this down, and then they fully controlled 100% of the Senate. And this is what we can do to fix this. Vote out the Democrats and put maybe another 10 Republicans inside the Senate. You know how awesome that would be to see 10 more Republicans? Because then they'll have the majority. Holy shit, it would be ugly. It would be ugly. Let's go look at these 2 videos.
The Senate has had multiple votes going on throughout the day, but the main one, I want to put this up on your screen, is what we now know, that the Senate did vote on the Shutdown Fairness Act. That vote ultimately failing at the beginning of this hour. And so if you're not familiar with what we're talking about here, today the Senate was voting on whether or not to advance the Shutdown Fairness Act. This was a bill that was put forth by GOP Senator Ron Johnson. The current version of the legislation would pay federal employees who have continued to work throughout this shutdown, but Johnson has an amendment that would also pay furloughed workers. The motion to proceed needed 60 votes to ultimately succeed. Johnson noted that major unions representing federal employees also supported this legislation. But about 10 to 15 or so minutes ago, we watched as that ultimately failed. The Senate did not reach the 60 vote threshold needed to advance that. The vote ended with a 53 voting in favor and 43 voting against it. 3 Democrats did vote for this bill. It's important to note. Senators John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock of Georgia, both senators from Georgia, as well as Senator Bay Lujan of New Mexico. A procedural vote on the bill on October 23rd, a few weeks ago, also failed, with 3 Democrats joining Republicans to advance it. So let's make sure we brought you that update here on Live Now from Fox. Let's continue listening in to the action there on the Senate floor with the Senator Bill Cassidy still speaking at this point.
Get something done.
So, yeah, that particular bill was going to be funding for the federal workers in order for them to get paid. And once again, the Democrats said no. So, but yes, you know, this is definitely 100% a Republican shutdown. You stupid dunce. Democrats are basically saying no in the Senate to funding federal workers. These are the same people that you federal workers, you elect these people. In that northern district area of Virginia, or maybe it was the southern district of Virginia, you guys vote for these people into power. So make it very understandable. They're saying, no, we're not going to pay you. The Democrats did that because not one voted on board to pay furlough workers or to pay workers in general. Democrats did that, not Republicans. Let's go look at the other video. We're going to go to the small screen, and there we are. This is Mr. Toon speaking today. Let's see what he has to say.
We finally heard Democrats entertain the notion of reopening the government. Ooh. It only took them 38 days. Why in the days before,
we're 38 days in, not 30
progressives were urging Democrats to prolong the shutdown in perpetuity? One House Democrat said, and I quote, "There would be hell to pay if Senate Democrats don't let events play out," end quote. And so I'm glad to see Democrats, after 38 days, back down from the maximalist and frankly insane position they've held since September. The Democrat leader's proposal is a non-starter for the Republican majority.
Yep.
The Democrat leader wants to believe that this is a, quote, simple proposal, that it is some sort of compromise, but it is not. He's talking about throwing tens of billions more taxpayer dollars at a program that even Democrats admit has failed to lower health care costs. The American people are tired of Washington taking their hard-earned money and spending it on costly government programs that fail to follow through on their promises. Of course, that's what Democrats have been doing for years with Obamacare. They passed Obamacare 15 years ago without a single Republican vote. And in that time, Democrats' signature health care law has failed to do what Democrats promised. If you like your health insurance, you can keep it. Not true. If you like your doctor, you can keep him or her. Not true.
Yep.
Premium costs will go down. Not true.
Yep.
And actually, the opposite is true. They keep going up. Obamacare drove premium prices higher. So in 2021, in the Democrats' American Rescue Plan Act, a bill best known for setting off a years-long inflation crisis, Democrats created these Biden bonuses, further papering over the higher premium costs under Obamacare with bigger taxpayer subsidies. Again, they did that without a single Republican vote. And then in another partisan bill in 2022, they extended the subsidies through the end of this year. Democrats chose the expiration date. They created this cliff. And now they want to blame Republicans for their mess. Give me a break, Mr. President. Republicans are not about to further burden taxpayers by blindly extending a flawed program. The Democrats' proposal is just more of the same, masking rising premiums and padding insurance companies' profits with more taxpayer dollars. The Democrat leader's proposal is a non-starter. There's still only one path out. It's a clean funding extension. The House has already passed a clean funding extension. The President supports one and would sign it into law immediately. We're only a handful of votes away from passing one right here in the Senate, Mr. President, a bill that has been sitting at the desk now for 38 days. We reopen, and then we can start talking about addressing the health care mess that Democrats created. Mr. President, I know that Democrats know this. Just yesterday, the Democrat whip came to the floor to say something that I've been waiting for a Democrat to say for a long time. He said that the first thing we need to do is reopen the government, then address the cost of health care and advance appropriations bills. I've been saying that for about 6 weeks now. And I think that's exactly what we need to do today.
It's wild, right?
So I hope the Democrat whip and others in his caucus will join the 3 Democrats who have been supporting a clean continuing resolution, the only bill that can actually end the shutdown. Mr. President, I'm glad to see that after 38 days, Democrats are finally warming up to the idea that their shutdown can't go on forever. And I urge my colleagues to support a clean continuing resolution so we can start a real discussion to address their...
All right, let's go to big screen with my face. So yeah, it is a Democrat shutdown, guys. They need at least 7 Democrats to join on board in order to get this passed and over to the president's desk. I'm going to look into that Mamdani Act, and I will see if it's worth anything to bring to you guys. But do understand, stay vigilant, guys. Stay alert to what's going on, and please educate yourself on civics. I know a few of my videos now have been a little harsh with the Democrats because I'm so tired of these idiots screaming that this is a Republican shutdown, which tells me our education, and this is a prime example why we need Trump in the White House and dismantle our education system. Because if people are this stupid when it comes to civics, we got a problem. If Americans that are voting, right, and they do not understand how the voting system works, they don't understand how our Congress works, how our government works, we have a problem. We have a crisis, an essential crisis in this country. So once again, I know I said this probably a dozen times. When it comes to passing a bill, okay, the bill gets drawn up in the House of Representatives, right? And it gets voted upon. Let's say every Republican voted, they had the majority. It gets passed. That's just how it goes in the House of Representatives. There's not no threshold, right? But when it goes to the Senate, okay, it falls on the Senate's desk. They need the threshold of 60. There is a threshold. They do that in order to keep a checks and balances within our government, which is good. We want that. Obviously, dealing with all of this, we're kind of thinking, well, maybe we should nuke it. But then we really wouldn't want the Democrats to push through woke BS, right? So we can fully understand that. Then it goes to the president's desk and he signs it into law. That's how our government works. Stop blaming Trump. Stop blaming Republicans and go to your congressman or woman, okay, because there's only two. For those people who are still a little bit behind the times, there's only two. That's how God created it. And at the end of the day, tell them to open your damn government. And learn how to be self-efficient. And I am 100%, I'm 100% of not reopening if it means lining the pockets of more billion-dollar companies. Do your research, stop being stupid, and understand. Vote for people that talk the talk and walk the walk. Let me know what your take is down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.